now we're on video number 3 of chapter 6, and we're going to talk about methods of paying wages and salaries, and we're going to start looking at the journal entries. So typically, these are the different methods I might pay wages: cash. Now, in reality, you really should never pay anybody cash, but some employers do. A check, electronic funds transfer where it's automatically deposited, or sometimes there's pay cards that you can deposit onto a prepaid card, that type of stuff. The best method actually is direct deposit, okay, because that really is the best way to handle payroll. And here's a few more other ways, different ways of paying things, but we're not going to talk much about that. Now, I don't know if you knew it, but that sometimes when an employee is terminated or they quit and they don't come pick up their final payment, these are called unclaimed wages. And after a given certain time, I think it's after a year, the money is given to the state. So if you live in the state of California, just Google California unclaimed wages, and you'll find a website that you can actually check to see if you have any unclaimed money due to you. Okay, that's just FYI. And by the way, there's not only state, there's also federal too, but usually stick with the state. That's where you're going to find stuff. So let's start talking about journal entries. Hopefully you remember this. So journal entry number 1, when we talk about wages and payroll, journal entry number 1 is, by the way, there are only 2 journal entries for the most part. Journal entry number 1 is to record the expense of the employer, the wage expense. So that's me paying you the gross wages as an employer, and me withholding all of the FICA taxes and the FIT withheld on your behalf, and any other voluntary deductions. So that's journal entry number 1. Journal entry number 2 is to record my employer payroll tax expense. So this is the money that I incur for payroll taxes. Okay, and they're always done exactly in the same format. So really there's only 2 journal entries when we're looking at this. So let's take a look at these journal entries. Here's journal entry number 1. So I have employee A and employee B. Here are their gross wages. Here's the total. And by the way, this would be an example of the payroll check register. Okay, here's all their withholdings, their insurance, and here was their take-home pay. So I'm going to look at this number right here. This is the gross pays, the gross wages I paid them. I will debit wage expense for that amount of money. For each one of these separate right here, and including this one, I will credit a payable account. So notice it has the word payable down here. Okay, payable means I owe. So this is the Social Security taxes, the health insurance or Medicare. This is FIT, this is state income tax, and this is group insurance payments. Okay, and then the last one is credit cash. This is if I'm paying cash or just writing a check to them. So this is journal entry number 1. This is what I, the employer, pay out as an expense. These are all the monies withheld from your paycheck as the employee. And here's the take-home or net pay for each one. Okay, let's look at journal entry number 2. And so we're going to use the same data, and this is for the income, the taxes that I incur as an employer. So this is the same data. The gross wages were $18.45. I pay FUTA and SUTA, and then I match these over here also. Okay, so I match Social Security and Medicare. So here, so I don't know the total yet, so I leave this number, but so here's my FUTA that I owe. Notice they all have the word payable behind it. That means you owe the money. So here's my FUTA, my SUTA, my Social Security, and my Medicare. I'm going to add up all of these and debit payroll taxes. This is normally payroll tax expense account actually. When I'm done with these 2 journal entries, they all will then be posted to T accounts or ledger accounts, and I'm not going to go over that. But again, I will give you a little handout to help you understand debit and credit, and this is the end of video 3 in journalizing payroll entries. And our last video, number 4, we'll talk about other things.